So welcome to episode 79 of Mompreneur Space live show. I'm Kenneth Chu, the host and also the author of Mother Industrialist, Perfecting the Balance Between Motherhood and Business Success. So in my book, I've interviewed 15 mompreneurs that I have personally known in the past 10 years. And I've also shared with the mothers how they can craft their mompreneurship blueprint using the 3 P's, which is passion, purpose, and profit to kickstart their business. At the same time, I have been running my own digital marketing agency, KC Creative Marketing, for the past 5 years, where I help startup, solopreneur, self-employed, and SME by using social media, video marketing, and live streaming to build up their brand in today's digital world. In this season of Mompreneur Space live show, I will still be interviewing a successful mompreneur every Monday, and I hope that it will continue to inspire and motivate more mothers who are running their own business for those who wanted to start on their own. So during the live show, you guys can start posting your question in the chat and we will answer them at the end of the show. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this new episode. So in this new episode, we will be talking about how to build up a positive and emotional resilience during a pandemic. So as we know, during this period of time, a lot of parents are struggling with home-based learning, with working from home, and this mompreneur that I have today, she is really very how did I know her is because one day I received a DM via Instagram. She was telling me, hey Kenneth, I saw that you are interviewing all these mothers, and can I be a part of it? I would want to share what I have for the mothers. So that really is inspire me a lot, that someone really wants to share so much, and finally I have her onto this show. And today's our topic is how to build up a positive and emotional resilience during a pandemic, and this is a topic that I really love, and I want to give her more time for her to share more of her golden nuggets and how parents or even mothers can I would say survive during this pandemic or during this period of time. So she is a executive and life coach. She is a keynote speaker and a lawyer. She's a beautiful mom with 2 beautiful kids, aged 7 and 4. And without further ado, let us welcome Ruchi. Hi, Ruchi. Good to have you.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And thanks for that beautiful DM that you have sent me. And now finally we've connected. We did a call before that, and we have a lot of things to discuss. And I'm really thankful for you to come onto my show to make time for it. And yes, so before we start, right, like I mentioned to you, there's a tradition that every guest get to answer the question of the day posted by the previous guest before we can officially kickstart the show. So are you ready with the question of the day posted by the previous guest?
I am.
Okay, so the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what is your greatest goal that you have achieved so far as a mompreneur? Okay, I repeat again. The question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what is your biggest goal that you have achieved so far as a mompreneur? So spend some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook, onto my iPad to see if you are connected successfully, and I'll come back to you, all right? Okay, cool?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. So Ruchi, are you ready with your answer to the question of the day?
Yes.
Okay, share with us.
Do you want to ask the question again for the people who came in?
Okay.
New?
Oh wow, there's a lot of people coming in. There's Kanchan is coming in. Okay, so the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what is your biggest goal that you have achieved so far as a mompreneur? Okay, so maybe you can share with us your answer.
As a mompreneur, the reason I became a mompreneur was to spend more time with my children. Because being a lawyer before this, I used to work very long hours. I was always gone. There were times I was working on weekends as well. And that has been one of the big reasons that I wanted to do something else, start my own business or practice. And I think I have finally achieved that goal of having time, having control over my time. It's taken a few years. It's been 5 years since I've become a coach. And I can finally say that I can be around when my children need me most of the time. And I think that has been the biggest success of starting off on this new journey of being a coach.
Wow,
and I've
wow.
achieved it. Yes.
Wow, that is so amazing. And thank you for your amazing answer. And now we can officially kickstart with the show because today's topic is how to build up a positive and emotional resilience during a pandemic. So share with us in the chat what are the challenges or what are your struggles during this pandemic as a parent. What are you struggling with? What are you having difficulties on? So just share with us in the chat. And at the end of the show, in between, Ruchi and I will be more than glad to answer answer your question or answer some of your comments. Okay, so Ruchi, before we start, right, maybe you can do a short introduction to the audience because some of them might be seeing you for the first time, especially for my audience. And what are you doing before you became a coach? And what are you currently busy with, and where are you from? So because we do have international friends from all around the world, or international mompreneur mummies that's watching this Mompreneur Space live show. So maybe you can do a short introduction of yourself.
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you. My name is Ruchi Parekh, and I am an executive and a life coach. I was previously a lawyer, as Kenneth just said. I basically work with ambitious professionals who want to have it all. You know, they are people who seem like they're having everything, they're successful, but inside they feel lost. They feel that they're losing control on themselves. They feel like life's just passing them by, and they're really losing their self-esteem and self-control. That self-esteem and confidence back. I help them feel good about themselves again and help them juggle all those various roles they play. So that's what I do with my clients. I'm originally from India, and now I live in Singapore. I've been here since the last 7 years.
Wow.
With my husband and my children.
Welcome. So way before because you were saying that you were a lawyer. So were you how should I put it? So after you graduated, you became a lawyer all the while until you changed and became a coach? Is that how your career works?
Your voice broke. Sorry, can you repeat the question, Kenneth?
So I was asking, like, you became a lawyer straight away after you graduated, and after that you switched to a coach. So you only have these two career. Is that so?
That is true. Yes, I graduated from commerce. Then I did the Bachelor of Law degree in India. I practiced in India. Then when I married my husband, we were in Hong Kong. I was practicing in Hong Kong as well. And then I moved to Singapore when my daughter was born. And she was 7 months old when we moved. And that was actually one of the biggest reasons of me switching careers. I definitely wanted more control over my time. And also, as cliched as it sounds, I wanted to give back some more from life, from society. I wanted to give back from where I got so much. And, don't get me wrong. I loved being a lawyer. I loved it. Even now, I never say that maybe one day I go back. But right now, I love being a coach. It gives me that, it's my mission in life. And I love to say this, but I want to make this world a better place, and I'm going to do it one day at a time. So that's why I'm a coach now. I'm going to be able to try to make a difference in as many people's lives as I can. And that's also why I reached out to you, because people are really struggling during this pandemic. Yep. They are really struggling. And I have not been this busy in the last few years like I have been this year, because people are reaching out. They are finally not shy to say, I need help. And the pandemic has also come with its pros of, people actually accepting that taking help, asking for help is not a bad thing. Correct. It helps you make your life better, to grow, which is not wrong, which is what you need sometimes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that is the reason why I felt that this is like the right timing that we are talking about. This topic is how to build up a positive and emotional resilience during a pandemic. As I've shared with you before this show, that I've also mothers coming to me, they are burnout because they are facing a lot of new things, new challenges, working from home, even instead of the home-based learning for their kids, they are also having what they call the parent-based learning. Because the parents are learning how to home base their kids at the same time. So it's really how should I like an eye opener for the parents, like, okay, how can I parent my kid? Because most of the time they just pass it to the school or they pass it to the student care, and most of the time they kind of outsource. But because of this pandemic, they have to in-source, they have to be the source to help their kids with the homework where they have maybe they have not really hands-on with them or work with them. So talking about this, so what do you see that are the common challenges and struggles that parents or particularly mothers that are facing during this period of time? What are their challenges?
So, we always hear things like change is the only constant. It's important to adapt to change. You must change and grow. This situation that we are all in right now has truly shown us that change, things that we did previously may need to be done differently now.
Yep.
One of the biggest challenges I think moms have faced is juggling. Where in either case, we're always juggling various roles.
Yep.
But we had different physical spaces earlier. Now everything's merged together. The home and the work environment is all together.
Yep.
And that, I think, particularly because even if we're helping our kids with home-based learning, we yet have to do our own work as well.
You're right.
And mind you, everything is in the same closed space.
Yes.
We are blessed in Singapore that we are allowed to go out, but most of the countries are yet in lockdown. They're yet indoors, and everybody, the whole household is inside.
Yeah.
I think just being in that closed physical space constantly, even if it's your own children, spouse, parents, has become challenging.
Yeah.
All the quality time that everyone wanted to spend together has been a bit much now. So I think that has been a very big challenge for most people.
Yeah, you are right. I would say because nobody expected this, and nobody expected the like a lot of parents, a lot of mothers share with me that it's very overwhelmed, because it's not just your kids, because suddenly you face your spouse that is working directly across you, and they like I was sharing with you, like my wife, this is the first time after being with her for 16 years. This is the first time I see her at work, really at work, and it's not a beautiful sight, I would say, because after all the stress, and after she ended the phone call with the boss, she was like get so stressed up, and she would like say things that doesn't sound good because she want to vent it out, or she's frustrated because she's trying to get everything done, the household, because for her she felt that okay, when she's at home she want to be more productive. And she want to do the household chores, she want to do this, she want to clean this, she want to clean that, at the same time do her work. So that's where a lot of things got mixed up, the timetable and all that stuff. I believe that this is where a lot of mothers are facing also, especially for those their kids are not going for full day class, full day school. They are facing all these challenges. So talking about all these challenges, would you say that there are parents or mothers that are managing this well during this period of time? If they are managing well, what could be the difference between those that are managing well and those who are not managing well? Do you see that for your students?
I think there are many who are managing well. And the key is, and this is what I tell my clients, the key is, if you notice that someone is managing well, especially in these unprecedented, crazy times, is because they are going easy on themselves. Most of us, we are very hard on ourselves. We set a bar, and when we're about to approach the bar, we set it higher.
Yeah.
So you actually, for yourself, you're never achieving anything, because forget the external environment, forget the people in your life. We are so hard and so critical of ourselves that I think we make it hard, we make it tough, and we ensure that we are not succeeding. So my suggestion and my advice that I always give my clients is go easy on yourself. Give yourself permission. We don't give ourselves permission. Give yourself permission to go easy on yourself, and you will notice how life, even this crazy time, starts getting easier. It's okay if you're not doing things perfectly.
Yep.
It's enough if you're just doing it good enough, you don't have to ace everything. You don't have to give your 100% to every role you play.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
it's not possible to give your 100%. A 70-80% should be good enough, because you are one human being trying to run so many things, and now they're doubled because there's a lot more things to be done differently
Yep.
from what they're used to. And that change itself shakes up people, because now suddenly you have to do things differently. And imagine trying to learn how to do differently and then being over ambitious about it, that I have to do it perfectly. It's a no-win situation. The key is go easy. Relax. Tell yourself your perfection doesn't have to match somebody else's.
Yep.
You need to create your own definition of being perfect and reduce that stress and pressure on yourself.
Wow. This is such an opening. It's like so enlightening, because this is what I also told a lot of parents. It's like you don't have to do everything the way that you want to. That means you score 100 points. You just have to do it good enough. You don't have to do everything over. Like if you already clean this one, you don't have to clean it twice. That kind of stuff. You don't have to overdo things. And you talk about the standard, like want to be perfect. I guess today's there's a lot of expectation, not from others, expectation on us internally. And a lot of time I would see that it's because of that self-esteem, the self-confidence, it could be what we know as upbringing, that the environment, our parents, the society, our bosses tell us that you have to be good, you have to be very good, you have to be perfect, you have to be 100% and stuff like that. So that's where during this pandemic, I believe that all this pressure start coming onto us, and without expectation from physical, we have this mental, like, are we doing enough? Are we doing more than enough? Are we doing good? Are we performing? Because now my boss cannot see me. My boss do not know what I'm doing. So how would the peer appraisal be and all that stuff? So I guess it's a lot of pressure that's coming onto us. And also at the same time, hearing that some of our peers are losing their job because of retrenchment, because of the economy, a lot of fear start to seep in. Do you see that it's the fear of the uncertainty that is making the parents or even the mothers more anxious about achieving things, making things right?
Absolutely. The uncertainty is driving everybody bananas. And I would be lying if I say it didn't affect me. It definitely has affected. I don't think anybody can say that they are untouched by this pandemic.
Yep.
It's at this point when you feel bogged down, when you feel that uncertainty is driving you crazy, is when you need to start doing things differently. It's when you need to start pulling out those, I like to call them backup tools. And this is something I teach my clients. Always have backup tools in a toolkit ready to be pulled out when you're not feeling good. When things are going as per plan, when things are going well, you're flying high, it's awesome. But things are going to go off. That's life. It's going to happen. For those times, you need to have backup tools ready to pull out as and when needed. So when I work with my clients, I always create a toolkit with them. This is a toolkit we create so that when they finish their coaching journey with me and they're done, in the future, if they ever need something, they can always look back and pull out a tool that is, appropriate for that situation that they are facing.
So I'm just curious, like maybe you can share some example of this toolkit, because this is like a backup plan. Because during this period of time, I realized that some of my friends who are mothers, they're coming to me because they know that I empower mothers to be entrepreneurs. I help mothers. I work with mompreneurs. So definitely they want to have a backup plan, and they will call me or message me, or some of them DM me. Even for those that I do not know, because they're referred by their friends, saying, oh, if you want to start a business or you want to earn an income, you can always look for Kenneth. So that's why they come to me. And I realized that a lot of them are planning for plan B, plan C, and maybe to change their career or even change industry. So is that something that will be the right fit into what you call the toolkits, or your toolkit is another set of maybe skill set that they need to? Is it different?
No. When I say toolkit, I'll give you an example. So when I start working with my clients, the first thing I make them do do something known as a character survey. That is the first toolkit, the first tool in our toolkit. What that does is it gives them an idea of their strengths and their weaknesses. So we all know what we're good at and what we're not. We have an idea. We've used all our life. We have coping mechanisms. We know what our strengths are.
Yep.
When you get a report confirming it helps build your self-confidence.
Yep.
I'll give you an example. One client of mine, his number one strength in the survey report was humor. It was an eye-opener for him, because he then realized whenever he is in a difficult situation, he uses humor to get himself out of it. When that report confirmed it gave him that self-confidence to do it even more and better.
Yep.
So he did it all the time, at work also, when he was stuck in a situation, to diffuse tension, to reduce the stress. He always used humor. After getting that report, he used it so confidently that it just flowed.
Yes.
So that's one tool I use. I make my clients use. Another one that is very beneficial is journaling.
Yes.
I'm a big proponent. I call myself a journaling junkie, because I run to my journal for everything. I journal daily.
Me too.
Because it's a very, very powerful tool.
Correct.
It is the most powerful tool, especially in times like this. If you are feeling bogged down, if you are feeling miserable, you are feeling anxious, jot down those feelings. And of course, I give them exercises to do so that you journal correctly, not just randomly writing things all over the place.
Yeah. And I guess, because I like for you, this is the toolkit the tools that you are getting your clients to do. For me, what I did is something similar, what I call the self-discovery process, meaning that they will be able to discover their strength and what they are really good at, because most of the time we doubt our own strength, whether are we really good and that. And I do have some assessment that they can do immediately. Within 30 seconds, they will be able to know what type of personality they are, and what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses, and if they want to build a business, who they should find to complement them. So these are just tools for them to discover themselves. And when they discover themselves, when they have the self-awareness, and that's where the self-confidence will come. Like for me, ever since I have this awareness that I'm going to do this, I'm going to empower mothers to be entrepreneurs, this is something like what I call the calling or destiny.
Yes.
Everything just flow, and the right people just come. And you mentioned about journaling. I have this little black book that I wrote every single thing that I have, even by my bedside. I have any ideas, creative ideas, I'll just write any ideas to build this ecosystem, or even mompreneur space and stuff like that. I always journal it down, and you'll be surprised. After a while, when you look back, a lot of times I surprise my own self. I was like, did I write that? You will be surprised by yourself that did you write that? Because at that moment you may be in your subconscious or unconscious, you just write things that is coming. Because this is something I share with my mentees and the mothers that I mentor, is that our brain can only contain 3 things at one time. So if you overload it, you will feel that it's very overwhelmed. But when you pen it down, basically everything is clear. This is where I will bring them to what I call the clarity, which is the awareness. Because a lot of time during this pandemic, it's about clarity. Like you mentioned about journaling. When you journal it down, you realize that, hey, it's not as complicated as it is. It's not as messy as it is. So I think
the confusion starts clearing out when you pen it down.
The clouds is being clear. So having said that, right, I'm seeing there's a question that maybe I think it would be good for us to answer it now, which is by Naina. So I think it's the lady, right? Naina Sharma. So she asks is, how do you
Yes.
ensure you take care of yourself when you are so busy trying to make sure how everyone else in the family, including parents, kids, are doing okay during this pandemic? So basically handling everything.
Sorry, your voice just broke. Can you say the
Okay.
question again?
So
I didn't hear the big part.
so the question is, how do you ensure to take care of yourself while you are busy taking care of your family members, your parents, your kids, everyone else during this pandemic? So how would you answer that?
I love this question, Naina. Thank you for it. So we have to take care as moms, as daughters, as spouses, as working women. We are juggling various roles. But in that, you can never pour from an empty cup. If you cannot remove a little bit of time, you're going to get burnt out.
Yep.
It's even if you're doing everything for everybody, 30 minutes, maximum of 30 minutes is all that is needed to recharge or refuel. It could be in any form. Maximum, I'm saying, is in a way of, you don't have to put pressure on yourself that I have to do something 1 to 2 hours every day to feel better, to feel in control, to not let myself go. You can do any simple thing as a way of self-care for yourself on a daily basis. It could be, taking just time out, locking yourself in the room for those 30 minutes, or, whatever time you're allowed to give yourself, you can manage. You can watch maybe Netflix, you can take a nap, you can listen to music, you can go for a shower, but doing it, ensuring that you remove that small amount of time in your 24-hour days can be a revelation. And research says it, taking breaks, even if you're going crazy, managing everything, taking a break is actually going to make you more productive. It not only makes you more productive, it helps you focus more, it improves your brain function. There's a lot of science backing it that taking breaks, especially now, if you do it for yourself, like taking a break from everything,
Yep.
you'll do whatever you need to do for everybody else much better, much quicker. So it seems like the impossible, but do try and bring in those few. Less than an hour is all you need to feel recharged.
Yeah, that is so good. I hope that Nina benefit a lot from your answer. And for me, what I would share is really talk to your parents, your spouse, or even your siblings if they are close by, to really work with them and seek them for help. You don't have to do everything but on your own, because they are also adult. They will be able to take care of themselves. You don't have to do everything yourself. There's always the tendency, especially being the elders. If you are the elders, you tend to take care of a lot of people. You like to be that hero character, that what my coach call the hero character, that you want to take care of everyone. In fact, not everyone need you to take care of them. So what you need to do is you have to talk to them, and like what Ruchi say, time block about half an hour or even 1 hour. Even leaving the house, putting your kids to your spouse or to your parents, go out for a walk, go out for a good meal, and just come back. You will feel refreshed. Or you can just go and take a nap. Like for me, I always get some naps after lunch so that I'm more productive. I can think better, because sometimes when our brain is like the computer, the CPU, when it overheat, it will break down. So what you need to do, you need to take a break.
And literally a power nap. Research says a power nap of 15 to 20 minutes is all you need to recharge and reboot to hit the day again.
Yeah. That works the same. Like I always share, like our body and our brains is like our cell phone, our smartphone nowadays. You need to reset it, you need to off it and turn it on again. It's the same for us, for human. If a computer and a device, mobile device, need to restart, we also need to restart. Yeah. So I hope that it does reply. And Naina say thank you very much, Ruchi. Thank you. And for those who are tuning in, for those who are tuning in, you still can keep your question coming and we will answer them. So coming back to you, Ruchi. So why did you start coaching? I know that you have this satisfaction, you want to have more time with your children. So why life coaching? It can be,
I get asked this question a lot. So surprisingly, which many people don't believe me now who know me in this day and age, is I was a very, very shy girl with very low confidence. I've had literally zero self-confidence. And a lot of instances, a lot of episodes in my life changed me. They 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 helped me. As hard as they were, they made me who I am today. And because I could change from being someone who was so low on confidence to someone who I'm pretty confident of myself right now, who can speak up. I could not speak up. I had no courage. I have literally pulled it out of my system to, be who I am today. I decided that it is important to share it with more people. When I first started coaching, I decided that I want to work with a lot of women. I want to work with women. I want to give them a voice. I want to tell them that it's okay if life throws you a curveball. It is supposed to. But do not accept defeat. It is going to happen. You need to pick yourself up and start walking again. Because if you keep giving up, if you keep getting hit by those curveballs and saying, this is it, I can't take this anymore, what is the use of life? Life is so beautiful. It is meant to be loved and enjoyed. You've been given this precious gift. You need to make the most of it. And literally, that was my guiding force for me when I was in my really low days of my life is important. I cannot waste it. I cannot while it away. I need to make something of myself to be happy again. And that's why I got into coaching.
So what is that thing that pull you back? Is it your faith? Is it or someone talk to you, or maybe you have engaged a coach? Because normal people don't just get that what do you call that sign that I need to come back, I need to pick myself back. My life is more than that. Is there any particular thing that really switched it back for you?
The belief. I had belief in myself. That was the starting point, that I am important. I mean something. That gave me that push that I need to turn my life around. Then, of course, I took a lot of help. I worked with counselors. I worked with therapists. And it was such an eye-opener. And I did all of this about 10, 12 years ago when it was yet considered a taboo. You're going to a therapist. How can you go to a counselor? Are you mad? But I think it was just because I had that belief that life is too precious to waste it and to just let it go. I didn't want to just exist. I wanted to live.
I just want to take it further because I'm very curious about this belief. Who set that belief for you? Is it your parents, or is it someone? Is it your grandparents? Because there must be something. This is something that my coach asked me also. Like, why is that belief? Like for me, I'm always optimistic about things. Like even I went through a depression, even I went through my career peak and I fall really badly. And was like rock bottom. But I always have that optimistic approach to things, which is coming from my mom. Because my mom is very bubbly, she's very positive. She always have her own set of things. So who do you think that gave you this belief that you have in you that brought you
like the same? My mom. She's watching me. Mom's watching me, and her mom,
Hi,
my
Auntie.
grandmother. The two of them. I think there's such a my mom's very positive, and it was her words that told me that you need to be happy. You have to be happy. What is life? And I think it's just the whole, my parents always told me that life is so precious. It can be hard. That's life, right? It's going to keep throwing curveballs. You're going to keep going through lows and highs, but wouldn't it be boring if it went differently? That belief that I remember my grandmother always telling me, she lived life to the fullest. And she used to always say, I'm my favorite. I loved that line she said. She said, I'm my own favorite. I always used to wonder, how can you say that? But now I realize the importance that instead of being your own worst critic, be your own best friend.
Yep.
It really pulls out that confidence and that self-esteem. Of course, there is a very thin line between self-confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
You need to make sure not to cross it.
Yep,
That is
definitely.
very important and key.
Yeah. And from you sharing that part, like your mom and your grandma, they are the seed, they are the people that seeded that belief in you. And that's why for me, I always believe that mothers are very good role models, parents are very good role models, where it is lacking today because both parents are so busy with their work. They are not setting that role model. They don't even have the time to share that belief or even nurture that belief in their kids. That's why if you look at youth nowadays, they do not have that self-confidence. They do not have that high self-esteem. They always feel that they are not good enough because they are always being beaten by people around in school, maybe at home, parents saying, "Oh, you're not studying well enough," and stuff like that. Do you see that is the difference between like parents nowadays and parents in the past? Is it because of the time or is it because of other things? Because
I
since you
don't
talk
think
about the
we
belief,
can I don't think we can blame moms who are working because
mm-mm,
it's their choice.
yep,
It could be any reason, number of reasons why they need to work.
mm-mm,
I think that the difference is technology. The world we grew up in and the
yep,
world our children are growing up in is just bombarded with technology.
mm-mm,
The digital world that we live in now was not when we were growing up.
yep,
And I think it's harder for our children and harder for the new generation because they are constantly in this digital
yep,
box, in this scary land which seems perfect. There's no fault shown on social media. The dark side is never there. And that is why they're losing their confidence. And that is why they're always looking. I think every mother, every parent does their best.
yep,
But the time is different, the world is different, and the challenges are such that it's very hard. It is really hard for everyone to grapple with this scary, crazy social media world. We are all a part of it, and nobody's ever going to show you anything bad on it.
yep, yep.
That's why our children are struggling so much.
Yeah, I think other than the digital world is also because women are given a chance to be educated, and that's why they have the means to bring the bread back and also get a job. Where like my mom, she's a housewife, my grandma is a housewife. Most of our mothers in the past, they're housewife because back then, women are not given the how should I put it, in the family the option to
Yes.
study, mostly are the guys. But now because the world have started changing, women have the means. But at the same time, do you believe that there are still standards being set for mothers, that they still need to do the mother role and they still need to do the bread, the one that's bring the bread back, stuff like that? Yeah, are they struggling on that?
I think more than standards being set, it's just the unsaid thing. And we've always done it. But I'm so glad you spoke of this because originally it was always the women who were struggling, running, juggling all the roles, playing everything. But this pandemic has been the craziest equalizer. Earlier, when only women juggling, now it's men and women juggling.
Yep, yep,
And I really want to shout out to the dads out there, to the men out there. It's new space, new land for them
yep,
to be in the house, to work. Men earlier only had to bring in the bread.
yep,
Now it's equally everyone who's juggling all the roles. So I think this pandemic has truly been an equalizer of roles. I can see it across the board.
yep.
Men have to work, attend. It's the new normal. Attending a webinar with your child running,
Correct.
sleeping in the background, and nobody says anything now because The world is facing it.
Yeah, everybody, even your boss is having their kids all around. Even your CEO is having the kids all around.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
I guess what you mentioned is the good side of it, which a lot of people fail to look at the good side of this pandemic. They always look at the bad side of it. And you
Yeah.
mentioned something that this is what I believe. Like the world now today is no longer whether you're a man or woman, it's now you as a team, you as a partners, whether is it man or women. Like for me, why am I doing this? Because I see that as a partnership. We should not say that, okay, this should be done by men, this should be done by women. There should not be any gender or anything that will different us, because all of us are coming together as a family, as partners, instead of whether you should be this. Like for me, I'm very much at home. I work from home because I run my own business at home. So I'm more of the nurturing type, while my wife is more of the ambitious. She loves to have compliment from bosses, while I'm very much in nurturing my daughter, in her character, in the homework, coaching. So I'm more like the mom, like you can put it like the mom, while my wife, she's more manly. She's the one that need praises. She need to boost her pride. She needs to feel satisfaction from work. So it does not matter whether it's a man or woman. It's about each and every one of our
Every
personality.
individual,
Yes,
yes, is
individual
different.
as human being, regardless. Because like you mentioned, is the ground is now leveled. Everybody, whether you're a man, woman, husband or wife, everybody's leveled. And because of internet and technology, it allows everyone to be, and we should take advantage of it rather than finding fault into that. Like for me, I'm enjoying, because now with technology, I'm able to build my virtual team, my business on virtual, and getting everything's done. Yeah, without me spending more time. So these are things that I believe that for mothers or even for individual, they should be able
Yes.
uh, to embrace. I believe to embrace. And also coming back to you, I'm just curious. Like now, currently, you are not practicing your law. That means being a
No, I'm
lawyer.
no.
Okay. So what if, this is just one question that I just suddenly thought of. What if today you are not a mom? Will you ever go into coaching? Because you started coaching because you became a mom, right? And you realized that you
I,
need to. Do you
I
see yourself?
hope I would,
Mm-mm.
because the kind of satisfaction and the kind of high I get from the work I do now. Like I was actually just telling a friend some time back that if I'm having a bad day, doing a session with a client
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Yeah. Totally
So
agree.
maybe if I was not even a mom, I hope I would have chosen to be a coach even
Mm-mm.
then.
Yeah. I guess it really comes into you that you came into realization that a lot of mothers may not be able to. And at the same time, what would you advise parents moving on? Like now we are having this new norm, everybody's trying to get a hang of it, or they really get a hang of it. So what would you advise parents moving on from now, facing all this
So
work from home?
as I said, the key starting point is to go easy,
Mm-mm.
to just go easy on yourself and go easy on your kids. Let them
Yep.
be children. Let them be, we don't need to bombard them with so much information about the pandemic.
Mm-mm.
As adults, we are going crazy. We don't need to constantly remind our children of how crazy the times are.
Yeah.
We need to let them enjoy this. You know,
Childhood.
my kids loved being home with my husband and me because my husband travels a lot and they never spend so much time with him.
Mm-mm.
So they really enjoyed this time. We need to allow our children a little bit of freedom,
Yep.
things that were never done before. We need to start changing a bit, and that takes a lot of effort on our part
Yep.
to change. Another thing that is very key, I've been reading everywhere, if you're working from home, you need to have a fixed routine. It's very important. I disagree.
Mm.
I don't think a fixed routine will work because there are it's not possible to take into account the disturbances and the interferences that are going to happen in the day
Yep.
with everybody in the house. Instead of having a fixed routine, it's important to have a fixed morning practice and a fixed closing evening
Yep.
practice. You should know what time you're going to start working or start your day,
Yep.
and let everybody in the family know. Even my 4-year-old knows when I've always worked from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But since he's a baby, he knows when I have to go into my office,
Correct.
my room. I have a small room in
Your
my
work
house,
mode.
my work mode. And in the evening, you need to, try and have that closing routine, like a ritual, like you're literally shutting down your computer, clearing, tidying up your desk, and moving away from that space, even if it's just a space in your room, because it's having a separate room is a luxury.
Yeah.
But, it's like it's a ritual to walk away from that space
Correct.
so that you can demarcate those, work life away from your home life. Otherwise, it's very easy for it to merge into each other,
Yeah.
and not don't have any time or
Yes.
any demarcation. Another thing is very important, I believe, going forward. It's important to set boundaries,
Yep.
even with your family members, even with your children. A simple no is a full sentence. You need to work, it's okay to say no.
Yep.
When you're not working, you can indulge, but when you are working, it's fine. And communicate.
Yep.
Communicate. You are
It's
stuck
key.
in the house, you are not able to meet people, especially for people who are extroverts. It's very hard not having human interaction, not socializing.
You're right.
Communicate, even if it's with your colleagues, your peers, your friends, your family. Keep those communication channels. Sitting silent with no communication or less communication is going to make it harder for you. So try to keep the communication channels on.
Yep.
And very importantly, have an attitude of gratitude. It's very easy to focus on everything that's going wrong. That's the easy one.
Whatever you
Start
focus, expand.
noticing. Yes, start noticing all the good. It could be little things.
Yep.
People are dying, losing their lives, their jobs. If you have a roof over your head, if you have 3 meals a
Yeah.
day,
You should be grateful.
be grateful.
Yep.
The more you focus on the things you have, it will be more in abundance. The more you focus on what you don't have, you will never have enough. So please start with a gratitude journal of 3 things a day that you're grateful for. It really helps in turning around your mindset. It's very important, because this pandemic is not going anywhere right now. We yet
Yeah.
have some time dealing with it.
Correct.
Incorporating these things are going to make it a little easier to bear till it ends.
Wow, that is a lot of things that you share with us. But I would say it really boils down to 2 things: is parents, don't be too hard on yourself, and also be grateful for the little things that is happening now. If you have a roof, you still have a job. Really be grateful that you still have a job. Even you don't have a job, there's always opportunity, because if you believe in every crisis, there's always an opportunity. When something goes down, there's always something that needs to goes up. So it's about the perspective they're looking at. And I really love what Ruchi have shared today. I really want you to share even more golden nuggets, but time really flies. Maybe you can share with the audiences how can they get connected with you if they want to find out more, they want to learn more from you.
Yes, you can reach out to me on my website. It's called ruchiparekh.com. Or I'm on Facebook. I'm called Coach Ruch on Facebook and on Instagram. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So you can reach out to me anywhere. Feel free, if you want to know about coaching, how coaching works, how I can help you. You can always book in a free 15-minute exploratory session with me. The link's on my website and on my Insta and Facebook page. So book in a 15-minute free call and get started on your coaching journey.
Thank you very much, Ruchi. And for those who are tuning in and watching the replay, all the description, all the links to Ruchi is stated in the description. You guys can go to the description and find it and connect with Ruchi if you have anything about life coaching, you have any inquiries, or maybe you are facing some challenges in your life or in the family. You can always reach out to her and seek her professional advice. So before we end, like I mentioned, there's a tradition that every guest get to post the question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So Ruchi, are you ready with your question of the day?
Absolutely.
Okay, so for those who are tuning in live, right, and for those who are watching replay, you can post your answer in the comments of Ruchi's question. So you share with us your answer, and we will be more than glad to read them. So Ruchi, are you ready with your question of the day? Share with us.
So I want everyone tuned in and watching me live to share with me one thing that you are going to do every day starting from tomorrow that is self-care. And self-care means doing something on purpose to improve your health and your mental and physical health. It's not just something, it's just part of your daily routine. Something in particular, on purpose, one thing a day. What is that going to be?
Okay. So your question of the day, just correct me if I'm wrong. What is that one thing that you're going to do to care for yourself? Is that right?
For your self-care on a daily basis to recharge starting tomorrow.
Okay. So the question of the day posted by Ruchi is, what is that one thing that you're going to do for self-care? Okay, so this question of the day goes out to everyone that's tuning in, watching the replay, and also out to the next guest. So next guest, get ready for this question of the day. So last but not least, before we wrap up, any last advice for the mothers who are thinking of pursuing their passion or even stepping into entrepreneurship? Any last advice for them, Ruchi?
Go for it. Jump in. It is the most satisfying, the most amazing journey you will ever embark on. And the beauty of it is, whatever role, whatever job, whatever industry you are in, the growth as a human being that you will, go through is not going to match anything else. So if you're thinking of doing something, today is the day to do it. Jump in.
Wow. That is such a good advice, and really, really very amazing advice that Ruchi have shared. Just do it. Just jump into it. And thanks a lot once again, Ruchi, for making time and coming onto my show and sharing with us so many golden nuggets to how to build up a positive and emotional resilience during a pandemic. Just be grateful, and also don't be too hard on yourself. So that is really what we have learned. Even for me, I've learned a lot from Ruchi, and I hope all of you have learned a lot and have a lot of takeaways. So share with us what is your biggest takeaway in the chat, and we'll be more than glad and be happy to read them. So last but not least, Kenneth here signing off with Ruchi. Thanks, Ruchi, for tonight and what you have shared with us, and thanks for those who are tuning in. I really love your presence and you commenting, and thanks for those who are watching replay till now. Thank you very much. And Kenneth here signing off with Ruchi, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys. Thank you. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.